Here's the thermal view of a Studer D19 MicValve. This is a stereo unit that has a valve stage. Each valve stage consists of two 12AX7 tubes, and they run off of negative 300 volts. So it's sort of an inverted design where what would be your plate resistors actually come through the cathode. But yeah, there's kind of a temperature issue as this is all PCB mounted and it's really close to those tubes, and as the plate resistors and tubes go through their temperature cycles, it sort of burns out everything around it. Now we're on the power section, which is all switch mode. There's a couple components in there that get a little toasty too, but overall, I mean, it's Studer, so it's a really well engineered PCB. It's just there's a lot going on, so if you leave this on for 20 years or 30 years, it's going to need serviced. A lot of those caps start to dry out just from the heat. And yeah, so in this video I'll show you sort of the main areas that get freshened up so that these Studers can keep on rocking. So we've got the tubes pulled, and if we zoom in real close, this unit was typically left on, and if you look at that film cap right in the middle, there's a crack going all the way down the top and side of it. And I'm pretty sure that's just due to temperature. If we go to the other side, we can see a similar crack on that film cap too. And you can see sort of darkening on the PCB board as well. So definitely some heat damage components that we're going to have to swap out. On the underside of the board at the outputs, there's a nice factory bodge from Studer where they swap the phase on the left-right. But yeah, all these little blue caps that have been through heat damage, you can kind of see that they almost look like they're shattered, right? And they've been through so many different temperature cycles, they've probably stressed the container that they're sort of molded into. So a lot of those will get replaced, and when you put them on the tester, it'll try and suss out what capacitance value it is, but more often than not, they're just bad and they're ready to be replaced. So this one took way longer than usual. It's supposed to be 100 microfarads at 25 volts, and we get 30% loss. It's only 45 microfarads, and the ESR is pretty bad, 180 ohms. So, and this is what it looks like after we've recapped everything. So I beefed up the resistors that feed that high voltage into that tube. Those are now off the board for better heat dissipation. All the caps around it have been replaced. The original caps, surprisingly, were 85 degrees C rated, so all those new caps, even though they're still super close to the tube, they're 105 degree Celsius rated. So yeah, everything, there's also a little LED in the tube sockets. Those were replaced too. Sort of lights up the tube to make it look cooler. Everything's been replaced. When you run it on just a lab supply, that 24 volt rail with the tubes in there, it's drawing around 24 watts. Studer actually uses a third-party supply to go from wall voltage to 24 volts DC, and that powers their supply, which takes that 24 volts DC and makes the minus 300 and the 12 volt DC heaters and all that other good stuff. And oftentimes the cap in the third-party supply can go bad. So I typically just swap that whole supply. There's a new one on top, there's the old one on the bottom. And when you do that, the Studer's pretty much back to full health. It powers up just fine, and there's no clicking in the relays or anything like that from dried out caps that prevent those switch mode supplies from trying to start. But yeah, these are a really cool unit. They sound really good. There's lots of versatility in them. You can turn that valve stage on and off to get, cleaner or dirtier sounds. And they're a bit hard to find, but I've been making a clone of this unit, and it sounds pretty much identical. So maybe one day I'll make a PCB, that way people could just buy that instead of trying to spend $5 or $6 grand on one of the originals. Yeah, you can see the clone in the background there. And yeah, here's the unit all finished up.